Hi, my name is Stacey Hatfield and I'm the founder of Natural Spoonfuls. I'm so happy to be here today contributing my knowledge to Free from Allergy. I'm super passionate about bringing life back to basics through a natural way of living. I create many healthy recipes that are free from gluten. So today, I'm going to be sharing with you some of my favorite gluten-free flours, which can all be bought from your local supermarket or local health food store. Let's get into it. First up, we have my favorite gluten-free alternative flour, which is buckwheat flour. Now, buckwheat flour is drier than wheat or white flour, so I tend to add a little bit more liquid when I'm cooking with it. It also isn't bright white in colour, it is a little bit dull, so that's something to consider with what you are baking. I recently made a tofu nugget recipe which is coated in buckwheat flour and it turned beautiful golden in colour and was so delicious. Now, our next option is chickpea flour. I love the taste of chickpea flour. It's really flavoursome and nutty. It's a bit drier than wheat or white flour, so I usually use half the amount that a white flour recipe would call for. And I love it because it is full of fibre. I actually make a homemade flatbread recipe, which is delicious. You can find that recipe up on my website. Next, I wanted to show you the almond flours. So this is blanched almond flour, which is another fantastic option, and I use it really often in my cooking. So I would use this as a 1-to-1 ratio with normal flour. However, it does usually require a bit more of a binding agent. So whether that's adding in an extra egg or even a chia egg, that can be really helpful. Another option is Almond Meal. Now, I find Almond Meal to be a bit lighter and fluffier in consistency and texture. So it can be perfect if you're baking a light fluffy cake or that kind of thing. I actually have a coconut and lime slice up on my website which uses almond meal and I love it. It's very delicious. Yeah, so almond flours are fantastic because they are full of healthy fats which are essential for our body. So another great gluten-free flour substitute. Another popular option is coconut flour. Coconut flour is fantastic, but it is very dense. So I tend to use 1/4 cup if a recipe calls for 1 cup of normal flour. Because it is dense, it works really well with a bit more liquid or moisture in there. So perhaps adding some more coconut oil or some milk. It's a bit of experimentation, which is always fun. I also tend to pair coconut flour with other flours, such as buckwheat or almond is another great option. There are many more gluten-free options out there to experiment with and try, so give it a go. I always say when it comes to eating gluten-free to my clients, focus on what you can have rather than what you can't have. There are an abundance of sources of beautiful, healthy, gluten-free choices. So I hope this has been helpful. Remember to experiment and have fun and see what works for you. If you're after a specific recipe or any of the recipes that I've mentioned, please head to my website, naturalspoonfuls.com.au, or my Instagram is @naturalspoonfuls. See you there.